follow his mom to the market. His mom used to sell kerosene, and on the other hand, he did. He was posted to Taraba State, and interestingly again, he became a powerful businessman. Friends, do you know that this young man, this my childhood friend, he's now the CEO of 5 companies, viable company. I said, wow, if he can make it, anybody can.
Chief Gabriel Olayinka Muturayo batched a H&D accountant from Federal Polytechnic Bauchi as a determined fellow. Chief found it not pleasant to stop at the current level. He furthered his studies at University of Salford in Manchester, United Kingdom, where he batched the BSc Accounting. He also batched a master's degree in finance from the same University of Salford in UK.
My name is Olayinka Gabriel Muturayo. I'm the CEO of Taraba Business School. I'm also the CEO of Taraba News. I'm also the CEO of Some TV, and also the CEO of Supercap, and also the CEO of Supercash. For me, growing up was a challenge because I lost my father when I was just at the age of 5. So, but life looks as if can any good thing come out of Nazareth? But with determination and persistence, I was able to overcome a lot of hurdles in life. Even going to school was not an easy thing, particularly when I was at the university. I was working and also schooling. I would go to a place to work just to raise money for me to be able to feed myself and to be able to take care of my needs. If I didn't do that, I wouldn't be able to pay my school fees. You know, I remember days that we have to eat rice and put pepper and groundnut oil. Sometimes we don't even have the groundnut oil. We put anointing oil and begin to eat the rice. Not because we wanted to be anointed, but because that was the only oil available. I know days that we will wash our clothes and we have to use iron to dry it because that was the cloth available too. So life was really a challenging one, but with determination and persistent perseverance. I used to tell people that if you can dream it, you can be it. Anything that is imaginable is achievable.
Returning to Jalingo in the late 1990s, Gabriel saw potentials where others saw obstacles. He started life as a classroom teacher at Grace Junior Academy and Rima Christian Academy. His hard work, dedication and efforts towards promoting and expanding the school yielded positive results. He was soon appointed the bossa of the group of school. Chief was still having his...
Good evening and welcome to the broadcast of News at 9 p.m. on Psalm TV, the Pulse of the Nation. You can also follow us on Facebook at Psalm TV and on YouTube at Psalm TV Live. Now the major headlines. National news. Tinubu, Gowon and ECOWAS leaders celebrate 50th anniversary in Lagos amid absence. President Tinubu and Governor Kefers praise for education reforms on Democracy Day. NSCDC promotes officer for returning lost 850,000 naira in Adamawa State, while Nyesom Wike denies Abuja explosion was suicide bombing, urges calm. International news. Germany, Ukraine to co-produce long-range weapons targeting Russian positions. Business news. Lorry drivers protest app failures, broken promises, and lack of support. Entertainment news. Taraba Business School honors CEO Gabriel Olayinka with symbolic birthday event. Sport news. Ogun athletes protest on paid allowances, delay National Sport Festival by hours. I'm Bridget James, and now the news in full. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, General Yakubu Gowon, and other West African leaders gathered to celebrate ECOWAS' 50th anniversary at the Nigerian Institute of International Affairs. Gowon was honored for his role as an original signatory. Some countries were absent due to political issues. The event continues at Eco Hotel and Suites. On Nigerian's Democracy Day, stakeholders have praised education reform under President Ahmed Bola and Taraba State Governor Agbo Kefers, highlighting federal plans to expand technical and vocational training nationwide and Taraba's introductions of free primary and secondary education. Some TV correspondent has the details.
Marking 2 years of President Tinubu's leadership, notable Nigerians have expressed gratitude for the significant progress in the education sector. Dr. Bibinu Samuel Ahmed, principal of the Federal Science and Technical College in Jalingo, Taraba State, spoke with Sun TV about the administration's efforts, particularly in advancing technical and vocational education. He revealed that the federal government plans to roll out technical education and vocational training programs in 33 technical colleges across the country. The initiative targets young people between the age of 13 and 20, providing them with skills in trade as painting and decoration, vehicle maintenance, carpentry and joinery, building and construction, garment and fashion, and GSM repair. Dr. Bibinu further highlighted that the program includes a school fee waiver made at giving vulnerable children access to the training. He also praised Governor Agbo Kefers for his bold decision to introduce free education at the primary and secondary school levels in Taraba State, calling it a progressive move that will benefit many.
So, as principal of this college and in education sector, the president has introduced a program, a very powerful program that is going to touch the life of every Nigerian by the time the program will eventually take off in September this year. This program is called Technical Education and Vocational Training, known as TVET. The acronym is TVET, Technical Education and Vocational Training. And this program is meant for Nigeria that falls within the age of 13 to 20 years. This program is being introduced or is going to be anchored by 33 technical colleges nationwide, which Federal Technical College Jalingo is one of them. You recall before now, this school used to be called Federal Science and Technical College Jalingo, but the science aspect is has been removed. Now we are left with the name Federal Technical College. Very soon we are not going to have the junior class, that is just 1 to 3, will be wiped out gradually. And that is why among the 33 principals of federal technical colleges. None of us that is going for what is called selection of JS1 students in the National Common Entrance Exam that is normally conducted by NECO. Our concentration will be only on students that are coming in as
As Nigerians continue to celebrate democracy, these education strides reflect the ongoing commitment to empowering youth and expanding opportunities nationwide. I am Messenger reporting for Sun TV.
In a bold move to cut the costs of governance and improve productivity in the civil service, Gombe State Governor Muhammadu Inuwa Yahaya has flagged off the construction of a new ultra-modern state secretariat complex. The governor says the days of renting office spaces for ministries are over. Sun TV correspondent Kamal Hamajo completes the report. The Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, has refuted claims that the explosions at Mogadishu Barracks in Abuja was a failed suicide bombing. Speaking after road inspections, Wike explained that the incident involved a man who unknowingly carried an improvised explosive device taken from a quarry, which detonated accidentally. He stressed that security agencies never identified the event as a suicide bombing and cautioned against spreading misleading information that could cause public fear. Meanwhile, the police in the Federal Capital Territory are conducting a thorough investigation, including forensic analysis, to determine the exact cause of the explosion. Social media influencer Murja Ibrahim Kunya was sentenced to 6 months in prison or a 500,000 naira fine by Kano Federal High Court for abusing Nigerian naira by spraying notes at the party. After initially fleeing court, she was rearrested and pleaded guilty. The court also appointed her as an EFCC and CBN ambassador to use her social media platform to advocate against naira abuse. The House of Representatives has launched a 4-week investigation into allegations of fraud and mismanagement in the disbursement of student loan by the Nigerian Education Loan Fund. Concerns include delays in loan payments, unauthorized deductions by universities, inflated tuition fees uploaded to NELFON portal, and some institutions failing to notify students about loan disbursements. The investigation seeks to ensure compliance with the Student Loan Access to Higher Education Act 2024 and to uphold transparency and accountability in the program. Lawmakers have also called on NELFON to improve verification processes through advanced technology and mandated affected institutions to refund students who had already paid tuition before receiving their loans. The ICPC has called on youth to actively join the fight against corruption, describing it as a virus affecting all sectors of society. At an anti-corruption event in Osun State, the Residence Commissioner emphasized the importance of integrity and urged young people, parents, and teachers to lead by example. The Osun State government plans to set up anti-corruption group in secondary schools to strengthen these efforts. The Federal Capital Territory Command, the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, has shut down 7 private secondary companies operating illegally, including one reportedly owned by Chinese nationals. 6 of the companies lacked valid operational license, while one operated with an expired license. The NSCDC warned that unlicensed firms often employ unvetted personnel and have been linked to criminal activities such as kidnapping and robbery. Sometimes, targeting their own clients. The command emphasized the importance of complying with licensing laws to ensure national security and urged individuals and business to contract only properly licensed security companies. Enforcement efforts against illegal operators will continue to maintain safety and order in the Federal Capital Territory. Nigeria was praised at the UN ceremony in Abuja for its significant contributions to global peacekeeping, having deployed over 200,000 personnel to various missions worldwide. United Nations and Nigerian military officials highlighted Nigeria's leadership role, the challenge facing modern peacekeepers, and the need for stronger international cooperation. The event honored fallen peacekeepers and reaffirmed Nigeria's commitment to promoting peace and security. Former President Muhammadu Buhari has congratulated former Minister of Transportation, Rotimi Amechi, on his 60th birthday, describing him as a valuable asset to his administration. In a statement by his spokesperson, Garba Shehu, Buhari praised Amechi's role in reviving Nigeria's railway infrastructure, highlighting his efforts in completing abandoned projects, expanding the rail network, and improving services and safety. He wished Amechi and his family continued happiness and success. Similarly, former President Muhammadu Buhari has congratulated President Bola Tinubu on his 2-year anniversary in office, urging Nigerians to support his administration. In a statement by his spokesperson, Garba Shehu, Buhari called for patience with Tinubu's reform, noting that meaningful changes take time. He warned against distraction from domestic policies and stressed that addressing poverty and inflation requires joint effort from both government and citizens. Buhari encouraged optimism about Nigeria's future and wished Tinubu continued wisdom in leadership. The Arewa Youth Assembly for Good Leadership has praised Outing African Development Bank President Dr. Akinwumi Adesina for his decades of transformative leadership. In a statement by National Speaker Abdul Dambachir, the group commended Adesina's achievements in agriculture, youth and women empowerment, digital innovation, and governance reform. They describe him as a role model for African leaders and urge others to emulate his purpose-driven and inclusive leadership. The group called on Nigerians across sectors to celebrate Adesina's legacy, which they said has inspired a new generation and reshaped African development narrative. The Minister of Health, Professor Muhammad Ali Patay, has identified high maternal and neonatal paternity as major challenges in Nigeria's healthcare system. Speaking at the workshop in Akure, he highlighted the country's ranking as third globally in preterm births and noted that complications from these contribute significantly to under 5 mortality. As part of efforts to tackle the issue, the federal and Ondo state governments have launched the Maternal and Newborn Mortality Reductions Initiative to be piloted in 5 local government areas. Governor Lucky Ayedatiwa praised the government as a vital step towards safeguarding maternal and child health. The Ogun State government has empowered over 40,000 farmers, equipped 236 secondary schools with smart classrooms, and renovated all 8 technical colleges under the World Bank-funded Ogun State Economic Transformative Project. At the project's 7th implementation meeting in Abeokuta, officials highlighted achievements across education and agriculture. This includes dual technical training, scholarship for girls, digital classroom upgrades, and a revamped curriculum. In agriculture, over 166,000 value chain players have been registered, with thousands of farmers receiving support and infrastructure. The state credited its commitment to development as key to the project's success. Peter Obi has condemned the continued violence in Taraba, Benue, and Kogi State, describing the killing as a national tragedy and a sign of leadership failure. In a statement on X, the former Anambra State governor criticized the government's weak response to what he called senseless killing affecting women, children, and religious leaders. He warned that the normalization of such bloodshed threatens Nigerians' humanity in the future and called for urgent action to restore peace and justice. Obi expressed solidarity with affected communities and said silence in the face of such atrocities amounts to publicity. In a related development, several non-governmental organizations have donated educational resources to children at an internally displaced persons camp in Guma local government area of Benue State. The donation made by K2 Gate, Offshore Lab, and Smile Doctor Foundation include a mobile school unit equipped with ICT tools, a mini laboratory, and a library accommodating up to 50 children. The initiative, coinciding with Children's Day, also featured free oral care services. The state government welcomed the gesture, with the Commissioner for Education noting efforts to integrate displaced learners into mainstream education through tailored palliative learning system. At least 19 people, including 5 children, were killed and 8 injured in a head-on collision on Sunday along the Lokoja-Obanjona route in Kogi State. The crash involved a Toyota Hummer bus and 2 articulated vehicles. The Federal Road Safety Corps confirmed the accident occurred near Gadabiu community when the bus, attempting to overtake a high speed, collided with an oncoming truck. Rescue team rushed survivors to Fisayo Hospital. Obasanja, the sector commander Omo Sukwam, attributed the tragedy to speeding and wrongful overtaking, urging motorists to adhere to traffic rules to prevent further accidents. Youth in Omuran, Kwara State protested violently anti-kidnapping, drug dealer, trafficker. The clash left 2 people injured, led to property damage, and resulted in the arrest of 5 protesters. Residents accused police of frequent harassment, while authorities confirmed efforts to control the unrest and restore order. The Nigerian Police Force School Protection Squad is using modern technology to enhance security in schools nationwide. Established by the Inspector General of Police, the squad worked with other agencies to prevent threats like kidnapping and banditry. Officials assure increased patrol and call for community cooperation, highlighting the initiative as vital for safeguarding education and supporting national development. Troops of Operation Safe Haven and the Nigerian Army's 3 divisions have killed 3 bandits in the Teng community of Huangpan local government area, Plateau State. According to OPS head spokesman, Major Samson Zakom, the bandits who were en route to attack Teng and Kayarde communities were intercepted and neutralized. Following credible intelligence, 4 AK-47 rifles, 4 magazines, and 56 rounds of ammunition were recovered during the operation. Efforts are ongoing to apprehend the fleeing suspects and recover more weapons. The Nigerian Police Forces reaffirmed its stance that Reverend Dr. Israel Adelami Akanji, former resident pastor of First Baptist Church, Garki, Abuja, and 5 others must answer to allegations of diverting 620 million naira in church funds. During a hearing at the FCT High Court in Gwagwalada, Police Counsel Veronica Bisang stated that investigations uncovered substantial groups for protection. Defense Counsel Adeniyi Atimola said to squash the 5-count charge, calling it political motivated. Defendant faced charges of conspiracy. Let's take a brief commercial break. We'll be right back with more exciting updates on Super Media Television. Please don't go away.
Contribute to homelessness. We speak about substance abuse, we speak about family structures, we speak about jobs and payment structures, and how all these things contribute to the homeless populations. And yeah, hopefully this documentary will be able to foster that empathy in people, so much so that they find ways, whatever skills they have, whatever abilities they have, whatever money they have, to give to communities and to the homeless populations in their communities or in their countries, on the continent, in the world, to be able to help finally bring an end to homelessness. And if we can't foster that empathy, even in a small group of people, with that documentary, then we'll make another one. Because I think that's something that really, really, really we need as humans. Hello, hi, my name is Shailene Msiga. I am a Zimbabwean girl, but I grew up in South Africa, and I'm currently at my family home in Zimbabwe in hopes of connecting deeper to my roots. I came back here to do that because I think that's an important thing to do as an artist and in that journey. With that being said, I am a writer and a director, and I'm so excited to be part of the Terror of 2025 podcast in order to talk about my directorial debut, a documentary called Forgotten: The Human Cost of Homelessness. About the documentary focuses on a select group of homeless people in Silverton in Pretoria, but deals with issues that are faced by these homeless people all over the world. The documentary's aim is to foster empathy for the homeless populations of the world. I find that many times, or these days, people have become so desensitized to the issue of homelessness, so much so that they find it very easy to walk by homeless people, forgetting that these are not non-playable characters. They are real people going through real issues, and I wanted their stories to be heard. In the documentary, we have the homeless population, talk about the issues themselves and tell the stories and say exactly what they want to say, so that the people who are watching can hear the stories from the perspective of the homeless people themselves. And hopefully that will be enough to foster that empathy and to make you rethink why people are homeless in reality.
Welcome back. We are glad you're still here with us. On to the next, the Federal High Court in Kaduna has ordered former Governor Nasiru El-Rufai and 5 others to pay 900 million for unlawfully detaining Adara elders in 2019. The court ruled El-Rufai personally responsible for the arrest, with additional damage awarded against the police. The judgment was hailed as a major victory for human rights and accountability. Major General Ibekunle Ajose of the Nigerian Army reported that intensified operations have weakened the Lakurawa terror group in Sokoto and Kebbi states. Over 100 kidnapped victims have been rescued in Kastina through community engagement, leading some bandits to surrender. The military is cooperating with Nigerian forces to block cross-border movement and remains prepared against drone threats. Soldiers aiding terrorists face strict penalties, and the military urges journalists to support their efforts with accurate reporting. A mysterious illness that has affected at least 32 children in communities within Tureta local government area of Sokoto State. The disease caused severe stomach swelling and intense body pain, raising concern among residents. The cause remains unknown. Umar Agaye, special advisor to the governor on community engagement and former Tureta local government chairman, has taken responsibility for the medical care of the affected children, covering treatment costs at the specialist hospital, Sokoto. The Sokoto State Ministry of Health is expected to release an official statement soon. Chief Uche Oguro, a community leader from Abia State, has urged Governor Alex Oti to deliver on his promise of a local government autonomy, criticizing current council as ineffective and unable to derive rural development. Despite significant monthly funds, Oguro says there has been no visible progress. He contrasted this with past local government leaders who implemented major infrastructure projects, calling on the governor to respect local government independence and fulfill his campaign commitment. Anambra State is promoting government-community collaboration to protect public infrastructure and ensure safety. Governor Charles Soludo is boosting security through new initiatives that have reduced crime and improved stability in troubled areas. The administration aims to transform the state into a tech and economic hub while emphasizing the importance of security and community cooperation for development. The member representing Ozura West constituency and chairman of the House Committee on Park and Market Development in Ebonyi State, Onu Opai, has praised Governor Francis Ogba community. Additionally, he applauded the Ebonyi State Assembly under Moses Ije Odunya for passing impactful law and motion benefiting society. Schools in Butu community, Abo, Mbase local government area of Imo State have been shut following a diarrhea outbreak that has claimed several children's lives. The chairman of Abo Mbese local government confirmed the outbreak on the establishment of an isolation center at Butu Health Center to quarantine exposed children and provide care. Health authorities, including the WHO and the State Disease Prevention Department, are working to contain the spread. Parents have been urged to vaccinate their children promptly. Diarrhea, a highly contagious bacterial infection affecting the throat and nose, is preventable through vaccination. Nigeria has recorded over 25,000 confirmed diphtheria cases nationwide, with more than 1,300 deaths reported to date. Akwa Ibom State Governor Umo Eno has clarified that the removal of Channels TV correspondent Chris Matha and his cameraman from the Government House Press was a routine change initiated by Chief Press Secretary, not a punitive action. Governor Eno explained that rotating correspondent is a common practice worldwide and within the CPS authority, adding that Channels TV continued to cover his administration. He emphasized his administration commitment to working with the media as key partners in nation building. However, activists Inebe Ifong expressed surprise at the governor's reaction to a defection video aired by Channels TV, noting the broadcaster likely covered the event following an official invitation. Concerned Niger Delta youth have commended Dr. Denis Brutu Otoro for his transparent and accountable management at the Amnesty Office since his appointment. recent allegations of corruption and misconduct made by a rival group, calling them baseless and politically motivated. The youth highlighted Oturo's efforts to support beneficiaries and expand the program to include women, urging security agencies to investigate the claim seriously and recognizing his positive impact on peace and development in Niger Delta. Members of the Delta State House of Assembly have passed votes of confidence in Governor Sharif Oborari administration, praising his visionary leadership, effective financial management, and commitment to human capital development. The resolution followed the governor's maiden State of the State address, where he highlighted numerous ongoing and upcoming infrastructure projects across the state, including road dualization, bridge construction, and flyover development in Warri and Efurun. The governor described his administration's progress as signed with the More agenda, emphasizing transparency, accountability, and innovation. Speaker Right Honorable Emotimi Wuwol commended Oborari for his transformational leadership and thanked him on behalf of the House for his contributions to Delta State development. The Edo State PDP condemned recent violent clashes in Benin City between youth and police as root causes, while denouncing attack on security forces. The party called on the government to take responsibility, promote restraint, exchange, and community leaders investigate the incident to restore peace and protect citizens' rights. The Nigerian Senate has passed the second reading of a 1.48 trillion budget proposal for Rivers State 2025 fiscal year. Following a state of emergency declaration, the budget allocates funds for debt, recurrent expenses, and capital projects with over 45% dedicated with infrastructure. The bill now awaits further review by a Senate committee, which will receive input from the state sole administrator, Senate leaders, to reaffirm their commitment to oversight and democratic governance during the emergency period. On Children's Day in Ekiti State yesterday, Right Honorable Adeo Aribayo, Speaker of the Ekiti State House of Assembly, was prominently recognized for his ongoing commitment to children's welfare. Known for the dedication to supporting the growth and development of young people, Aribasoye marked the occasion by engaging with children, offering education support, and organizing symposiums focused on career guidance and vocational opportunities. His initiative has provided financial aid to many students, easing educational burdens on families and promoting access to learning across the state. Aribaya's consistent efforts reflect his deep commitment to nurturing Ekiti's future leaders and advancing the well-being of its youngest citizens. Senator Shuaibu Afolabi Salisu of Ogun Central has partnered with traditional rulers in Ogun State to address the growing crisis of out-of-school children. Speaking at the workshop theme, Improving Secondary School Enrollment Through Community Engagement, Salisu emphasized the critical role of monarchs in driving educational reform, organizing collaboration with the National Senior Secondary Education Commission and Ampersand Development Partners. The event concluded with a communique advocating for community-based school monitoring. The skill-based curricula and enhanced teacher incentives. Traditional rulers also called for youth employment initiative and diaspora support to improve education infrastructure. Ondo State Governor Lucy Oyedatiwa has announced strict penalties, including up to 21 years in prison for land grabbing and related offenses. Speaking at the inauguration of the State Task Force on Property Protections and Anti-Land Grabbing, the governor emphasized the need to combat illegal activities which he said have fueled conflicts and displaced across the state. The new law recently passed by the State Assembly outlined penalties ranging from fines to multi-year jail and a term for offenses such as forceful entry, illegal occupation, and fraudulent resale of land. Ayedatiwa urged the task force, led by Attorney General Kayode Ojulo, to enforce the law decisively in collaboration with community leaders and relevant agencies. The Ogun State government has announced a free medical checkup initiative for business owners across the state, scheduled for June 12, 2025. The program aims to promote health awareness and early detection of medical issues among entrepreneurs. Organized by the Osun Internal Revenue Service in collaboration with Electronic Collection. The outreach will offer tests including blood pressure, blood sugar, vision, liver and kidney function, lipid profile, and cardiac stress assessment. The checkup will be conducted at the headquarters of the state's 9 federal constituency. Governor Ademola Adeleke directed the initiative, noting that many business owners neglect their health despite being key drivers of the state's economy. Oyo State First Lady Engineer Tamununmini Makinde has spent 6 years leading impactful programs across the state focused on health care, women's empowerment, education, and social support. Her initiatives have helped thousands by providing skill training, scholarship, and advocacy against harmful practices like female genital mutilations and gender-based violence. She has also promoted breastfeeding and menstrual hygiene, supported vulnerable groups, and improved media and staff capacity. Community leaders and beneficiaries commend her efforts for transforming lives and fostering inclusion. Let's take a brief commercial break. We'll be right back with more exciting updates on Super Media Television. Please don't go away.
I am a Zimbabwean girl, but I grew up in South Africa, and I'm currently at my family home in Zimbabwe in hopes of connecting deeper to my roots. I came back here to do that because I think that's an important thing to do as an artist and in that journey. With that being said, I am a writer and a director, and I'm so excited to be part of the Terror of 2025 podcast in order to talk about my directorial debut, a documentary called Forgotten: The Human Cost of Homelessness. About the documentary focuses on a select group of homeless people in Silverton in Pretoria, but deals with issues that are faced by these homeless people all over the world. The documentary's aim is to foster empathy for the homeless populations of the world. I find that many times, or these days, people have become so desensitized to the issue of homelessness, so much so that they find it very easy to walk by homeless people, forgetting that these are not non-playable characters. They are real people going through real issues, and I wanted their stories to be heard. In the documentary, we have the homeless population, talk about the issues themselves and tell the stories and say exactly what they want to say, so that the people who are watching can hear the stories from the perspective of the homeless people themselves. And hopefully that will be enough to foster that empathy and to make you rethink why people are homeless in reality, because it's not just they don't want to get a job or they're addicted to drugs. The issues that cause homelessness are way deeper than people think these days. In the documentary, we deal with issues such as the way cities are built, specifically South Africa, the way these cities are built that contribute to homelessness. We speak about substance abuse, we speak about family structures, we speak about jobs and payments.
Welcome back. We're glad you're still here with us. Coming up next are the international business, sports, and entertainment news. On the international news, German Chancellor Friedrich Merz announced during Ukraine President Zelensky's visit to Berlin that Germany and Ukraine will jointly produce long-range weapons capable of strike targets within Russian territory. Merz said defense ministers from both countries will sign a memorandum of understanding on procuring Ukrainians' MUD long-range weapon system with no range restrictions imposed. The production will occur in both Ukraine and Germany. This collaboration marks a new phase of military-industrial cooperation between the two nations. Meanwhile, Germany's defense minister announced additional military support for Ukraine, totaling approximately 5 billion euros. Russia criticized Germany's involvement with Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov, stating it signaled Germany's participation in the conflict. On business news, e-hailing driven on the Lagos state government's backed long ride platform have raised concerns over ongoing operational issues, unmet promises, and exploitative practices by the app's management. The drivers known as Captain reported poor app performance in areas outside Lagos, Eastland, and Central zones, with many experiencing long periods without trip requests, especially in places like Ikorodu and Badagry. They criticized the platform for inadequate market research, weak advertising, and failure to deliver promised features such as real-time payment tracking, despite mandatory onboarding and training drivers. They say key commitment remains unfulfilled. Additionally, drivers claim to have borne costs for vehicle repairs, insurance, and maintenance for over 2 years without assessing insurance benefits. The drivers' union urged lag-ridden authorities to address app functionality issues, expand overrange launch awareness campaign, and fulfill promises related to incentive and support lag-rid executive. The director acknowledged the complaints and said efforts to resolve them are underway. On entertainment news, in Jalingo today, staff and executive of Taraba Business School Holdings mark a birthday for their chairman and chief executive officer, Chief Gabriel Olainka, with a quiet yet profoundly symbolic ceremony. The event was held at the company's headquarters and reflected the leadership values that have shaped one of Taraba's state's most influential business conglomerates. Some TV correspondent has the details.
It was a scene of warmth and reflection inside the office of Chief Gabriel Olainka, a modest celebration honoring the man whose leadership has built a multi-sectoral business empire. From media to fintech, Taraba Business School Holdings under his watch has become a regional powerhouse. The CEO words echo the culture of shared ownership and unity that runs through the organization. With subsidiaries like Taraba News, Some TV, Supercap, and Supercash, the group has made bold strides in transforming media, urban mobility, and digital finance in the Northeast. In her address, the Deputy CEO, Dr. Anne James, described Chief Olainka as a visionary leader, but more than that, as a good fellow, humbled, focused and always people-centered. He built with everyone and not above them.
On behalf of the staff of Taraba Business Holding, we present this to you to celebrate your birthday for you in our own little way, as a sign of our appreciation for you and thanksgiving for a new age. So we wish you happy birthday, long life and prosperity, and may lines continue to increase the places for you in the mighty name of Jesus we pray. Amen.
The event was also an occasion to spotlight recent milestones, including the launch of Supercash across Taraba and a strategic partnership with Bajaj Auto. Plans are already on the way to expand Supercab across the entire Northeast, furthering the conglomerate's regional impact. While the celebration was deliberately understated, it was rich in meaning, symbolizing not just another year in the life of a leader, but a reaffirmation of purpose, humility, and a shared ambition. From Jalingo, Messenger reporting for Sun TV.
On sport news, events at the 22nd National Sports Festival resumed nearly 4 hours late on Wednesday after Ogun State athletes ended their project and reopened the Games Village at Bokok University. The athletes had blocked the village over unpaid allowances, leaving many participants stranded. They reopened the gates around 12:43 p.m. after reviving payments totaling 180,000 minus 40,000 as promised by Governor Dapo Abiodun, plus an additional 140,000 as their festival allowance. However, the athletes insisted the agreed allowance was 210,000 naira based on 15,000 per day over 14 days, expressing dissatisfaction with the partial payments. Prior to the festival, Governor Abiodun had pledged cash reward for medalists, including 2.5 million for gold, 1.5 million naira for silver, and 1 million naira for bronze. Ogun State currently ranked fifth on the medal table with 48 gold, 38 silver, and 47 bronze medals. That's all for this edition of News at 9 p.m. from SOM TV. But before we go, here is a recap of the major headlines. In the national news, President Bola Tinubu, General Yakubu Gowon, and other ECOWAS leaders marked the regional body's 50th anniversary in Lagos. Though some members' notions were absent, Tinubu and Taraba State Governor education reform during Democracy Day celebration. Meanwhile, the NNCDC returning 850,000 in lost property, and FCT Minister Nyesom Wike refuted claims that the recent Abuja explosion was a suicide bombing, urging the public to remain calm. On the international scene, Germany and Ukraine have agreed to jointly produce long-range weapons capable of striking targets within Russia in a move signing deeper military-industrial cooperation. In business, Lagrid driver voiced strong concern over ongoing operational failure and unmet promises, calling for urgent reform to the e-hailing platform. In entertainment, staff of Taraba Business School held a symbolic birthday celebration in honor of their CEO, Chief Gabriel Olayinka, recognizing his leadership and legacy. And in sports, the National Sport Festival placed delays after Ogun State athletes